So on the left side, you see the completion requirements and the core. So here I am on the right-hand side in the curriculum management system, and I want to look and do a view core programs. And at the current time, we have one defined. And we actually used what was in curriculum. We started out with using the SC stuff, but we decided to change it to look at what's already in curriculum management so that you could see the correspondence here. So here's the core general education program. Started in fall of 1990 and hasn't ended yet, so it's continuing on. And if we move over to the navigation on the left side and we look at program requirements, you can see here a list of a bunch of courses. So what we've done is we've abstracted the definition of those, which you can do by using course sets inside the curriculum management system. So you could set up a course set entitled General Education or Core Social Sciences and History, and then you could have one that's specifically history, and these are the courses that belong to it. So in this particular case, on the slides, we didn't define the exact courses, but we defined the category. So this first category would be they must successfully complete a minimum of one course with a C from this group, which is history, and they must do a minimum of 2 courses with the minimum grade of C in this one, which is social sciences. Moving down, we have a literature and the arts category, and they must meet all of the following requirements. So this one must complete a minimum of 1 course with the C from this, which is a literature class, and they must complete 1 course with a C from this group, which is an art class, and they must successfully complete a minimum of 1 course with a minimum of C from this, which is considered a humanities course. Here's the definition of the human cultural diversity requirement here. They must successfully complete 1 course with the minimum of C from this group. So we just left that at that level. Moving down to fundamental studies. Okay. They must meet all of the following here. So they must have earned a minimum grade of C in English 101, Math 110, and English 390. And then finally, inside mathematics and sciences, they have 3 requirements in here that they must meet all of. Take 1 grade with a C from any of these, another from any of these, and another from any of these, and we couldn't figure out exactly what the category types were called, so we left it as mathematics and sciences. So if we go out of that, it'll let me. I'll look and find an academic, well, let's browse them. In this particular case, the example we chose is we want the biological sciences major. Let me go down to the next slide. Once again, here we click on program requirements on the navigation here. And we come down and we can see, we didn't do entrance requirements on this one, we did completion requirements. Okay. So here they must meet all of the following of these, any bolded item here. So they must successfully complete with the C1 of Math 130 or 140, which we indicated here, 131 or 141 here. Any one of these with a C or better, so that one is this requirement here. I'm sorry, all of those, not just one. 1 course in the Physics 121, 141 sequence, 1 course in the Physics 122, 142 sequence, then a C in one of these courses. I mean all of these courses, I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong. And then 1 of these courses with a C. And then if we page down and we say they've got a specialization in general specialization in general biology, we can click on specializations on the navigation. one specialization available for this major program. We click on its requirement, and look for its program requirements. Once again, we have completion requirements, one course of biological sciences, 410, 12, or 26, one from the sequence of 420, 421, 426, or 430, one from this sequence, I won't go through them all again and bore you to death, one from this sequence, and one from that sequence. So you can see how what's in curriculum management will inform assessment. Questions on that? Okay, I'll shut up now.
We have a quick question. We're just trying to wrap our brains a little bit around the difference between this versus degree audit in terms of building out all the requirements here versus building it out in the degree audit software.
At this point, the direction we are taking is we are going to not be able to feed to the degree audit systems this information. We had a extensive meeting with the Red Lantern folks on their UAchieve or DARS product, and we looked to try and pull this information from KS into any degree audit software, and the complexity with how they represent things in the belies our ability to do it at this point. Long-term, very long-term, Kuali student wants to develop degree audit capability internally, but for the Enrollment 1 milestone and release, we will be providing student data export information and import back information to the DARS product you achieve. But we will not be able to feed this information directly into it. It will still need to be coded over there.
So it's a really good question, and I think when they originally developed curriculum management, the feeling, or the thinking was that these rules would both help at a curricular level, and it would also be applied at a degree audit level for, feed a degree audit engine, actually evaluate against the student's record. As Steve just said, the nuances and the complexities of coding in DARS are such that there really is no way to import these rules directly into DARS. It's just a technical non-starter. So the question then becomes, well, do I have to maintain these rules in two separate places? Is that something that's desirable? The thing is, you don't have to. The reason for putting them in curriculum management would be, and I don't know, Steve, if you get over to dependency analysis from where you are right now? Or dependency analysis enough to give a little demo?
Let me go in.
We're kind of doing side-by-side compare. I don't know if you want to pull if you want a full screen on the curriculum management. Ooh, now you're not sharing at all. What we're going to show you is if an institution that implements curriculum, I can't hear that, sorry. It's really breaking up. If someone is speaking right now, I cannot understand you. Or is that just an echo? Maybe that's me. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's an echo here.
Okay. I was like, God, every time I speak, that person speaks. So why would someone choose to do curriculum management? If you implement curriculum management, and someone's got to mute, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is it you, Steve?
Oh, I'm on mute.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to disparage you. Someone is not on mute, and it's almost impossible for me to talk because I'm getting such an echo. Don't talk, I guess. Don't talk. Sorry. I'm trying to explain dependency analysis, Steve. Oh, there, the echo went away. Okay, now I can talk. Okay, sorry about that. This Polycom is not always ideal. So the question, let's tackle back to what the question was. The question was, is how do some of these curricular program requirement rules that live in curriculum management, how do those intersect with those that are used for degree audit? And again, our original thinking in building curriculum management is that these rules would be the primary source for feeding a degree audit system. When we got to enrollment and we realized, well, we're not going to actually build a degree audit system, we're going to integrate with the degree audit system and maybe eventually build out a degree audit system, we picked the UAchieve product, and the question then was to integrate with, and the question was, to what extent could we feed, from a technical perspective, could we feed rules defining curriculum management to degree audit so you wouldn't have to do double entry? And then again, it became clear pretty quickly that it was a technical and non-starter to try to directly import rules from curriculum management into DARS. So then the question becomes, well, why would I bother putting rules into curriculum management if I'm going to have to put them in DARS if I want to actually do degree audit? And there's a couple of reasons why institutions would want to do that. They don't have to. You know, they can solely rely on DARS. But one is for prereq checking. The other thing is for a dependency analysis. So all the rules that you see in curriculum management that define which programs consume which courses, you can start asking questions like, which courses are consumed by which programs at the curricular level? So if I modify one course, what are all the programs that might be impacted by the modification of that course? What are all the courses that use this other course as a prerequisite? So having the rules at the curricular level allows you to do that type of analysis. So there's still quite a bit of value add of actually adding these rules in the curriculum management system, although we recognize it's not ideal. I mean, ideally you would like to be able to just take those rules and plug them into a degree audit and go, but that's just not technically feasible at this point given the way DARS is structured.
Can you try to restart your web browser?
Yeah, I've tried that. I'm just asking Cheryl what.
Carol, is my screen visible?
It shows share your screen.
Oh, well, it's not showing me that.
Nothing
All right,
being
let's
shared.
get out of everything and then get back in again.
Are you on demo or are you on?
So I was in demo. Hold on a second. I'm going to restart everything again. KS training.
Because I can try and get on demo.
I am hopefully seconds from that. Connecting. All right, I'm getting the good screen. All right, so that's there.
I'm in there if it helps.
I'm good.
Oh, there. Okay, I'm going to mute now.
Everyone see my screen now? You should see an action list.
Right,
Yes.
looks good.
So we'll go back to curriculum management. And so one of the tools here under management tools is dependency analysis. So if you click on a dependency analysis, it's going to ask you to enter a course that you're interested in. Let me do, if someone could help me, Physics 121, I think, was one of the ones we had that was part of the biology program. Okay, and you can see here the program dependencies. And you can see that Physics 121 is a completion requirement for this one program, and it's the Biological Sciences program. You can expand that. Successfully complete a minimum of one course at the minimum grade from this requirement here, Physics 121 or 141. There really isn't much of a complex requirement, but now we're going to see all the requirements that are there for this if you expand that.
Steve, could you Control plus so that we can see the text a little better.
Okay.
And Dan Simons is recommending Math 140.
Well, I was going to do that because that's
Oh,
how
okay.
Dan,
All right, cool.
Dan knows that. But I thought I'd pick one that we used as an example already.
Example, perfect.
And now what we'll do is we'll move to the Math 140 example. He's stealing my thunder. So in this particular instance, you can see that Math 140, which is the first semester calculus, is used by a variety of programs in a variety of ways. So you can see that Math 140 is a student eligibility and prerequisite for the following courses. So Biological Sciences 361, Biological Sciences 426, and Geology 123 all require this. And if we expand that, it's in this for Bio 361, you have to take either 130 or 140. Biological Sciences 426, the same requirement, 130 or 140.
And if you, unless you enter these rules in curriculum management, you wouldn't be able to take advantage of this feature because it's reading directly those curriculum management rules. So, and I'm sorry, now I stole your thunder. Go ahead.
That's all right. Go ahead. So I just wanted to point out that in Geography 123, it's a different course set. Although it's self-referential, so this is a problem. And you may want to take notes. The Geography 123 requires Geography 123.
That's user entry error.
And you can see Math 140 is a co-requisite for Geography 476, and once again you can expand. So it's a co-requisite, but it's a co-requisite within a set of Math 130, 140, and 220. It's an anti-requisite for Math 110, 12, 13, and 15, which means you can't take those classes if you've already taken 140. And it restricts credit in Math 130 and 220. If we expand that, it is you can't receive credit for it. Same way on that one. So those are course dependencies up there. And now what we've been talking about is program dependencies. So it's an entrance requirement for biological sciences and criminology and criminal justice. And once again, we can expand these. See that you have to take 140 or 141. This particular one, you have to take 140 or statistics 100 or math 220 or 111. And then it's a completion requirement for the biological sciences major, the criminology and criminal justice, the core general education requirement. I'm assuming it was one of those things we saw down at the bottom, and it's part of the geography program. It also appears as a satisfactory progress requirement for the criminology and criminal justice program. The definition of that. So that's how it's linked. And as Carol said, if the information isn't in your curriculum management system, you don't have the ability to utilize this function that will be meaningful to you. But it helps not only in planning your curriculum and understanding what will happen to other programs if you're about to change or delete perhaps a course, but much later on we hope to use this information to forecast course scheduling needs. And again.